Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ruining Your Childhood.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ruining Your Childhood, one sculpt at a time. Today we're going to be sculpting Pops from the regular show. First we're going to start off with a ball of aluminum foil that I'm then going to slap on a piece of skin flap, also known as clay. I then use my sculpting tools and my dirty fingers to help smooth out that ball before taking a ball stylish and cramming in some eye sockets. Kind of like that, yeah. For the eyeballs, I took a pre-baked ball that I then cut in half, and the reason why that looks like a booger is because I try to use translucent clay. In the end, I just end up painting over it because it just doesn't look right. But once I got those eyes inserted, I went ahead and rolled out a piece of Slim Jim that I slice in half, and this is going to be his nose. I wanted to keep it pretty similar to the cartoon, so I didn't do too much nose detail. Now that his nose is firmly fastened to his face, I then can take a piece of skin flap and lay it underneath his eye. This is going to make up his lower eye bags and lower lid. I take my X-Acto knife, cutting little half circles under his eyes. Then I take a soft sculpting tool and I start to kind of form around his eyes and pushing them in. I really want him to have like that 1,000-yard stare, sunken eye look. I want him to look like he's really seen some stuff going on at this park. Now that I'm happy with how the eye bags turned out, I can start adding forehead wrinkles. For this, I take some small pieces of tapeworm that I push onto the forehead. Then using sculpting tools in my phalanges, I then smooth it all out. Now that we got Pops' forehead all wrinkled and greased up, we could start on his eyebrows. I roll out 2 little pieces of tapeworm that I smash onto the front of his face. Then using my small ball stylus, I go along the eyebrow, carving in little hairs. For the mouth, we're going to keep it pretty simple. I just take a sculpting tool that looks kind of like a half circle, take it and I cram into the front of the face, and I slowly work side to side till I get the mouth the size I want it. Look at that. Mouthed up. Up next, we're going to start on his mustache. Pinch off 2 little loaves of clay that I'm then going to taper off, as all loaves should be. Then I take those and I apply that to the face, making sure that they're the same size. Once I'm happy with that, I can then take my small sculpting tool and do the same treatment that I gave the eyebrows, sliding it back and forth until I get some somewhat convincing hair texture. It was at this point I realized that his mustache was kind of overpowering his mouth, so we're going to go ahead and give him a lower lip. Rolled up a piece of tapeworm that I applied to the face and smooth that out using ball styluses. And I also felt like he needed a chin because he was giving too much of a look. So pinched off a loaf of clay, then I smoothed that bad boy out until we are pretty much finished with the face. And now that Pops' moneymaker's made up, we could start on his signature top hat. For this, we're going to roll out one of those Macho Man size Slim Jims before cutting it to exact, precise top hat length. We're not looking for no Doug Dimmadome here. Speaking of Doug Dimmadome, if you guys would like to see any specific characters, leave a comment down below letting me know who you would like to see. I take your guys' comments very serious and I read every single one of them, so if you guys want to see something, let me know. And who knows, maybe I'll give you a little bit of a shout out at the beginning of the video. For the little band on the hat, we just cut out a thin piece of clay that we just wrapped around. Now we're going to start on the brim of the hat. I was pretty impressed with how perfect this circle was. I was just freehanding this. Look at this. Look at the precision. Absolutely insane. But since I was freehanding it, it wasn't the right size, and I had to just take my knife and roll it out to make it the right size. And with the brim all sized up and ready to go, we could apply that to the bottom of the top of the hat, taking the sides and giving it that signature half pipe look, because we know Pops be shredding on the weekends. After applying it to his massive dome, we could go ahead and put it in the oven for its first bake. Now that Pops is backed and baked, we could go ahead and start on his body. I went ahead and drilled a little hole to insert this poor excuse of an armature into it, and then from there we could start building out that bod. We start off by wrapping Pops in a good thick layer of skin flap before smoothing that all out. I do end up taking his head on and off quite a bit. The reason for this is I was just getting sizing, but also ease of access to working with the clay underneath. Now that his body's all bodied up, we could start on his little vest. Taking another piece of skin flap, we go ahead and wrap that around, slicing it in the center for that center seam before matching it up and cutting it once again. I slide his head back on again so we can measure out where the armholes are going to be. Taking my X-Acto knife, I make these long half circles, copying it on both sides before peeling off the excess clay, leaving a nice embossed look. For the legs, I take some liquid Sculpey and I give it a nice thick generous smear all across these little wire legs before taking a piece of skin flap, laying that over top, pinching off the back end before taking my X-Acto knife and slicing off the excess flap. This is probably my favorite way to cover a armature wire with clay. Once we got those legs all covered up, we go ahead and smooth it all together, blending it all in together, making it a seamless piece. Then take my X-Acto knife, cutting off the excess clay on the bottom of the wire, that way I can stick it into the base later. Now that the britches for the big-headed baddie are on, we can put on his arms. For the arms, I just took some equal length of armature wire that I bent into a position that I was happy with before shoving it into the side of the body. To really seal in the flavor, I went ahead and used some liquid Sculpey and just used it as a glue, basically. This is going to give the arms a little bit more structure to hold on to make sure they don't fall out over the years. And once I'm happy with the position of the arms, we could put it in the oven for a quick bake. After I pulled them out of the oven, I started sculpting and I actually forgot to hit record, so I sculpted one of the hands off camera. But that's fine, because at least we have a second hand I could show you. So we're going to pinch off a loaf of clay, applying it to the end of the wire, and then we're going to shape that into a little scoop. The pose I'm going for kind of is like the, get a load of this guy. Once I was happy with the shape of the palm, we could start adding his little phalanges. These are just little pieces of tapeworm that I rolled out and applied kind of at a half circle. And I just laid on one finger at a time, sculpting it into the rest of the hand, smoothing it out. Try to give the fingers a little bit of overlap, that way you can see all the fingers. Once I was happy with the position of the fingers, I took this little prison shanker tool and I drew in the little hand wrinkles. Now that we're finished with Pops' little baby hands, we could start on the cuffs of his shirt. I rolled out a thin piece of clay that I cut into little strips. I wrapped that around the wrist, smoothing off the ends to make it a seamless ring. And with that, guys, we could put it in the oven for its final bake. With Pops fully baked, I went ahead and took him outside and gave him a spray with some white primer. This will just make it a little bit easier for the paint to adhere to the clay. First off, we're going to start with his shoes. I'm noticing a trend with cartoons just having black shoes. Wonder what's up with that. Probably a simple answer, I'm just overthinking it. But with the shoes done, we could start on his breeches. For the base coat, we're going to start with a dark gray, followed by a lighter gray dry brushing. This really helps bring out the texture in the pants and also kind of gives it like a wool texture. With the shoes and breeches done, it's on to his jolly good vest. I think in the cartoon his vest is just black, but I kind of gave it a little bit of a bluish undertone. There's not much color going on this character, so I wanted to kind of spruce it up a little bit. Even though the camera just makes it look straight black, but there is a little bit of blue in there. Now as for the undershirt, I went ahead with an off-white bone color. I should have done this part first before the vest to make it a little bit easier to access the shirt, but you live, you learn. With Pops' fit finish, we could start on his signature pink dome. For this, we're going to be building up multiple layers of a very light pink. After that, I then go ahead and take a very light wash of red, going over the chin, cheeks, and forehead wrinkles, followed by a darker, almost thicker red for the inside of the mouth and around the eyes. Like I said earlier, I wasn't too happy with how the eyes ended up looking with the translucent clay, so I went ahead and painted over them with a white wash just to kind of brighten them up a bit. They were just a tad bit too dark. Now that we're mostly done with the face, we could start on his gentleman's mustache. We start with a medium gray paint, very watered down so it could sink into the recesses of all the hairs. And then I follow over top of that with a white dry brushing to give it that white look, but also retain some of the gray texture underneath. And now that the white of the eyes have completely dried, we could start on the pupil. I take that same prison shaker that I had before, stick a little bit of black paint on the end, and then dab it right in the center. Now that we got Pops' head and body completely painted, it's time for his top hat. The hat's gonna get the same black paint that I did for the shoes, and as for the ribbon, it's gonna get the same dark gray that I used for the pants. And that completes Pops' paint job. While I make a few off-camera adjustments and final touches, we could start on the base. For the base, we're gonna start off with a 3x3 square of EVA foam that I then paint a thick layer of brown paint on top. I really make sure that I slap it on thick, that way it kind of has some texture when it dries. And with our little square dry, we could start applying the static grass. We start with a thick layer of game tack, which is just glue. We put that on real nice and thick like we did the paint. Now it's onto the static grass. I don't have one of those super fancy ultra electronic grass applicators. I just have one of these guys, and they work great, and I'm going to show you how to use it. Try to get a nice coverage with the static grass, and then after I let that sit for a few seconds, I take that square, I then flip it upside down, shaking it a few times to get the grass to stand on end and getting off the excess grass. I then take that excess grass that fell off, reapply it to the applicator, and then reapply it to the square. And I feel like this gives it a pretty good coverage, and it does a great job of getting the grass to stand up on end. Now that we have the grass applied, we're going to let that dry, and with a little bit of assembly, we're onto those JCPenney glamour shots. Oh my God! Well, there you have it, folks. Pop's putting on a jolly good show for you. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like button, and also leave a comment down below of who you would like to see next. And I'll see you next time.